Welcome. I thought it was about time that I shared what Vault is as a kind of grander transmission of kind of the work that we do inside of Think. If you are unfamiliar with me, hi, I am Stefania. I don't have a pitch for you. I don't have a one tag, one liner to tell you all the things that I do, but what I can tell you that I'm in service to two things inside of this container: reverence and responsibility. See, in Bank, we look at our innate wealth, and unfortunately, it goes beyond money. It's about how you walk in the world as a wealthy being. How much life can you afford to live? Most of us are life broke, strapped to scarcity, fearing what we could have in our lives if we just embodied a little bit more of who we are. If I was just a little bolder, if I was a little more honest, what would my life look like? See, when you start diving into the world of wealth, it can be really easy to reference other people. It can be really simple to say, well, Warren Buffett did this, or Jim Bezos did this, or Jeff Bezos. Oprah did that. And it can be easy to want to follow what someone else did, but your innate wealth is unique and independently determined. There is no one telling you this is the right way or the wrong way. See, I am a firm believer that when you practice reverence and responsibility for your life and everything in it, wealth is just the byproduct. It is just the consequence of reverence. It is just the consequence of your responsibility. I am sorry, but that is the outcome. You will be wealthy when you practice those two things. And as long as I'm practicing a little more honesty, I'm not sorry about it. But when we look at innate wealth, it can be complex. We understand logically that, yeah, we're worthy. We're worthy of the resources we want in the world. We're worthy to have the life that we desire. But my question is, what if you're owed better than you could have even imagined? What if your mind is limited in its capacity to think up the life that you are actually here to live? That question itself may boggle you. It may fluster you. It may make you even angry. What if you deserve better than you could have even imagined? See, your innate wealth is that innate deservingness. But it doesn't come from out there. It doesn't come from a foreign formula. It comes from an internal exploration and expression. It comes from your willingness to embody your innate wealth, however it looks, however it feels. See, our willingness, though, is hindered. It's hindered by our indoctrinated beliefs. It's hindered by our inherited beliefs. Our expression of our innate wealth is hindered, left, right, and center, because there are aspects of ourselves that we are terrified of letting out. See, I grew up in the world where if you were too loud, you got called bossy. And there is an aspect of me that really is bossy. But when I connect with that aspect of myself, she's not the one who disrespects my wealth. She's not the one who says, let's not care about things. She's not the one that says, oh, whatever, it's just money. See, the aspect that you think is the reason why you aren't wealthy, your inner teenager who is rebellious when it comes to money, your inner child who doesn't know how to behave, your damsel who's scared to actually hold it, your rescuer who's constantly shelling it out, the parts of you that you think are the reason why you are broke, why you are strapped for cash, why you always seem to have these massive bills, and even if you can afford that, they're always there. The aspects of you that you think are the problem aren't. They're not a problem. Your inner child who doesn't know any better just needs to be parented. Honey, this is how we value $1. Your rebellious teenager needs to have a little bit more freedom that you don't give them. Your resourceless damsel needs to trust that you're going to be safe, that you are going to take care of you as a whole. You see, the aspects of you that you blame for not holding wealth, for not making you wealthy, the parts of you that you deeply abandon and demonize for inexistence, that you lock away, are a part of your unique expression of wealth. In this particular work, there is no right or wrong way to become a wealthy being. It is just about you embodying your unique imprint. You holding yourself with reverence and responsibility that no matter what, you will have a deep sense of embodied respect for your life and everything in it. From the money you already make to the time that you get to spend to the energy you have to give, all of that is deserving of your reverence, of your responsibility. Not off-gassing it on the aspect of you that may not know how to hold it. That aspect of you knows how to hold a particular component of your wealth that you are ignoring by pushing it aside. You see, my bossy self, when I stopped trying to be bossy and I became a people pleaser, I became broke. I paid for dinners. I paid people's bills. I basically treated my credit card as if I was buying your love. And let me tell you, I have paid my debts 3 times. But I only paid them because I let my bossy side in, the side of me that says no, the side of me that has boundaries, the side that I stopped blaming for my inability to get anywhere. See, for a lot of years, I had this perspective that my bossy side was going to stop me from being a team player. And if I wasn't a team player, I wasn't going to make it in the world. And I wasn't going to be able to get promoted. And I wasn't going to be able to get a raise. And I would be stuck in a blue collar life that I really didn't want. Until I stopped pushing her away, when I stopped locking her in the vault, I started to see what she was actually here for. My bossy side came out and showed me how to say no. So I could practice holding my innate wealth for me instead of giving it away for free. Inside Vault, we get to talk to the aspects of ourselves that have our wealth locked away, because it is inside of them that our wealth gets to be expressed when they're integrated. I cannot be wealthy if any aspect of me is locked away from me. I cannot be wealthy if I am compartmentalized and blocked off from myself. In Bank, we work on the embodiment of your innate wealth, the thing you are born with, the thing that you are meant to be in the world and live as. But in Vault, we get to embody the places of ourselves that we've refused to let the world see. The Vault itself is an aspecting journey. meaning you are going to talk to the different aspects of you, and they may look and feel different than you thought that they did. See, I have different aspects of me that look very different than how I thought that they would. We've journeyed through the codependent collector, an archetype of many of us hold, that we push away, that we act, oh, I'm not codependent, or we rely on our codependency, but the codependent collector will look different. Maybe your codependent collector looks like a child. Mine look like Bugsy Malone. Juvenile, young, needing to be responsible, needing to be older than they were to ensure they were taken care of. My codependency meant that I needed to be the one to take care of other people when I needed to be taking care of me. When you go into the vault with any archetype, you will meet your version of that archetype, whatever they look like, whatever they feel like. And you will learn something about yourself that you may have not wanted to see, something that you may have not wanted to be responsible for. But we go into the vault so we can learn to practice reverence for that particular piece. I can respect the child in me who thought they needed to take care of things, who thought they needed to handle things, but really, I have reverence now for that child in me because I can be responsible for parenting her differently. To let her know that it's safe to be a kid when she needs to be a kid, but us adults got it. She doesn't have to worry about anything. She doesn't have to take care of other people. See, aspecting with these different archetypes that live within you gives you access to your own deeper insights, things that you may not do on your own. And this is just a journey. We don't know where it'll go. I don't know what it'll tell you. I just know that every archetype has something to say. And if we don't listen with a clear conscience and let them speak through us, we may never know what it is that they want us to. In this journey, every month there is a new theme. Those themes are able to access via replay inside of Bank, but the beauty of this is that you can talk to them whenever you desire. The aspects of you have been waiting to speak, and the reason why they're waiting is because you've pushed them away. And the more you push these aspects away, the more they will go rogue. You don't heal the bossy side of you so she's not bossy anymore. You just give her a new job. She becomes integrated. You don't just heal the codependent side of you. You just give them a new job so they become integrated. They're no longer known as the bossy one. They're no longer known as the codependent one because they're no longer operating in the patterns you've been feeding them, because you've got to see the impact of what it's done. See, the more that I told myself that I couldn't be bossy, that bossy was wrong, I also stopped the boundaries my bossy side was teaching me. When I was trying to fix everybody and handle everything and ignore what my codependent collector actually needed, which was to be taken care of by me, I was busy taking care of everybody else. So I don't know what you're going to find in the vault. I don't know what you'll hear, and I don't know what you'll say. All I know is that these aspects of ourselves cannot be locked away because they are a contribution in skills, in knowledge, in knowing that has us actually embody our innate wealth deeper. And if we don't, then we will never be wealthy. Imagine me walking around the world with no sense of boundaries that my bossy one showed me. Look at me walking around with no ability to take care of myself, like my codependent collector was trying to show me. Or heaven forbid that I don't acknowledge that the martyr must die before they ever become wealthy. I'll keep sacrificing myself on the stake. Each aspect, Every part of you that you try to repress is trying to show you something that will help you embody your wealth deeper. That your unique expression into the world of how you are supposed to be wealthy is going to show up. It doesn't matter if you work in the world of sex. It doesn't matter if you work in the world of money. It doesn't matter if you work in the world of humanitarian efforts. Whatever it is, every part of you is a contribution to that thing. There is no part of you that will ever be denied, repressed, or locked away if you are actually living an embodied sense of your innate wealth, your worth, your value. So if this is a journey you're ready to take on, then I encourage you to. If this is a once a month experience that you're like, okay, I'm going to talk to the part of me that I have ignored for 30 years. Beautiful. Because the only way we can actually begin to reconnect to those aspects of ourselves is if we actually open the door. If we unlock the vault. If we walk in and we actually see the beauty that they were meant to show us and the evolution we never allowed them to have. That is the only way we're going to become a fully integrated person that doesn't have sides of us locked away, that doesn't have sides that are demonized and repressed and coming out sideways and going rogue and fucking up our lives because they're just trying to be heard. You may have a side of you that has been fucking up a lot of shit, but just because they've been demanding your attention and you've been ignoring them. The way that I like to refer to it is like what happens when you ignore a toddler. They get louder. You never allow these aspects to mature, so they will show up as they showed up back then. It's time for us to allow ourselves to grow, to evolve, to be so deeply embodied that they're not separate. And this does have an effect on your money, and it does have effect on your time, and it does have an effect on your energy. See, when we're separated, when we're compartmentalized, our resources are so deeply wasted. Do you know how much energy is required to keep something secret? To render something taboo? All of that energy that you are wasting trying to deny these aspects of you any opportunity to grow, any opportunity to age, all of that energy could be better used somewhere else. But instead, you try to push them away, push them away, push them away. And just like the compression on a spring, at some point it will blow up and they're going to be like, hello, want some attention. See, for me, this external desire to be a team player meant that I worked with a lot of companies that needed me to be like enmeshed with my coworkers. And my bossy one was like, no, you can't do this. And so she would sabotage me all the time. I would get into fights with coworkers. I would bump up against personalities. I would feel super unheard. And then I would get the title of bossy. And then I'd be like, no, I gotta be a team player. And I'm trying to shove her in a corner again. But all she's gonna do is pop up and be like, hello, no, there's something we need to see here. And I did that for years, knowing damn well that I'm not a team player. I don't like working with teams that other people have created. I am a coach, and I have always been a coach. I'm not good as a player on the team. I am only in my flow, in my medicine when I'm a coach. I used to coach competitive volleyball. I wasn't a great volleyball player, but I was a spectacular volleyball coach. Right, I'm not a team player. It's a hard one to swallow, but like there was a part of me that just said, well, that's how you become successful. You become successful by sacrificing yourself, by working those late hours, by insert XYZ here. And what I found was every time I did that, I was not doing well financially, temporally, energetically. I was lethargic. I was strapped for my time. I was constantly broke, constantly fighting for raises. But when I started to work with my bossy one, the one who's not a team player, the one who has boundaries, I started to realize that it wasn't that she's not a team player. It's that the teams that I had been on were teams that didn't have the boundaries she required. That anytime I set a boundary, there was so much backlash. The only option was for me to leave those roles. Wouldn't know that had I not incorporated her into my life, had I not realized, right, this piece of me is a team player when my boundaries are respected, and when they're not respected, she is willing to stand for them by walking away. It's kind of a big deal, right? Each part of you has just as an important lesson, and yours is going to be so fucking unique. I'm not going to be able to say otherwise. I don't know what insights you're going to get, and that's the beauty of the vault, is that it's yours. It's what aspects of you that want to speak and that want to share. The theme, the archetype that we work with is just allowing that part of you that deals with that particular behavior. For example, the big spender. Your big spender may be the one who has no problem shelling out their credit card, buying everybody dinner, but they may actually show up as a mother or as a father who's been overworked, taking care of people. That's who your big spender might be. And you may start to recognize that they're spending big because they're not getting something else. Or maybe your big spender will show up as the Scrooge. They got a lot of money and they don't want to spend it. And you'll learn that it's okay to spend bigger. That you don't need to be so tight. Every archetype will be different for you, and it's just an opportunity, an experience, a place for you to taste the work that we do much deeper in bank, but to maybe open a place where your wealth can now be more, where you can take care of yourself, where you can feel confident with money, where you can not have a heart attack every time you get a bill in the mail. Just a little bit more open to your innate wealth, however it looks, however it feels, and less attached to it needing to appear so tight and perfect and idealistic. I'm not really here for ideals, because I also know that in the world of economics, if we were all the same, there would be no business, there would be no people thriving, there would be no people like dying either, but like it wouldn't be very fun. Imagine if everything on Etsy was the same bloody candle. How would all of those people be wealthy? They wouldn't, because there's not enough dynamic. There's not enough uniqueness. The beauty of like being human is that we are all the same. And as in that similarity is that's how we're all different. We're all the same because we are similarly moving through our own unique expressions in the world. That's what we're here to do. That is our journeys. And in the world of bank and vault, our journeys here is just tied more to wealth. Who would you be if you weren't the starving artist? Who would you be if you weren't the overworked father? Who would you be if you weren't the undervalued mother? Who would you be if you were the well-respected woman, the well-respected man, the well-revered human? Who would you actually be in this world? And I will tell you, you would be wealthy. Because to be those people, the well-paid artist, the valued human, you would also be responsible. But responsibility wouldn't feel the way it has been, because you have respect for your life and everything that's in it. And the more you do this work, the more it'll spiral and spiral and spiral, and you'll just reach deeper embodiments. I don't just speak to my bossy one once, I speak to her every time she wants to talk, to find out what's actually going on, to see like, oh, right, there was a boundary. I said the boundary wasn't respected, and now I have to uphold my side of a disrespected boundary. Shit. Because if I continue to let this boundary being disrespected, I don't revere my boundaries. God damn. And it'll happen again and again and again until it becomes second nature. And then my bossy one doesn't need to speak as much. And then maybe my codependent one does, or maybe my big spender does, or whatever. So I'm excited to open this particular component of bank, an embodiment journey that I usually only can allow in membership. I'm excited beyond belief to actually open this up to public and let you guys taste it. Get a taste of your own wealth. What would it actually be like to be this kind of person in the world who just fucking owns their shit and embodies the unique dynamic that they are, the unique and independently determined wealth, however it looks in the world, without reference to any of the big wealthy people you already know, but being your expression of it, that is going to be unbelievable for me to witness. So maybe a little selfish. But by you actually saying yes to this particular journey, that's letting you know that your wealth is done waiting. And your wealth will always wait as long as you do. But at some point, it's time for you to actually get it. It's time for you to grab the bag. So I will post the link below for you to join us, for you to actually sign up for the next Vault event, which will always take place on the third Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Flat. But I will also, the details of like the specific date will be noted in the link as well. I think that's the only message that I actually really wanted to share right now. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to chat. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon.